the way we feel on a day-to-day basis. Um, I would,
We are live actually.
all right. Mm,
I'm trying to share it on your timeline.
Okay. Uh, what else? Um, mm, all right.
Okay, I've done. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the very first episode of Connect with Caleb Leo. I'm so excited to be reaching out to you today on Facebook and on YouTube. We are live presently, and today we're going to be discussing tips on how to keep mental health during a global pandemic. Tips on how to
Mm,
keep mental health during a global pandemic, and the world has gone through a whole lot presently. We've gone through lots of stuff.
okay,
For the
sure.
past couple of months now, and it's been a challenge keeping mental health people being okay at home. Like you've been alone, all alone at home. Now we are getting back to society is coming back to normal, but then there is fear of global recession. So today I have with me live Mr. Ike Martins. Mr. Ike Martins is a human behavioral coach based in the United Kingdom, and he's going to be talking to us today. Mr. Ike Martins, I'm very pleased to have you today on the show.
Thank you very much. I am Pastor Ike Martins, I've had pastoral experience for over 17 years,
Wow.
I think having this primary experience has helped me in the new career I have been trying to build for sometimes now as a human behavioral expert and an educator, and uh, and I think that is just about me. And maybe while we converse, we are going to be knowing me better. Thank you very much, Pastor Caleb Leo.
All right. Thank you so much, Pastor Ike Martins. I didn't miss that. Okay, so we'll be looking at tips to keep mental health during a global pandemic, global crisis,
Mm.
rather. So, first of all, Pastor Ike Martins, what is mental health? Can you educate us on that?
Ah, I think mental health, putting it very simply, I think it has to do with how we feel on any particular day. Yeah, it has to do with our emotional well-being. You know, how we feel. Some days we feel good, some days we don't feel good. Mental health generally have to do with how we feel on just any particular day. I think that is about mental health, to put it
Oh,
in a very simple way.
okay, okay. So, how you feel on any particular day?
How
And
you feel on it?
yeah, really, the way we've been feeling for the past couple of months has been something else. We felt alone. We felt like, God, where is God? We felt the whole world is crashing on
Not
us.
like the whole world is crashing on us.
I'm telling you, it's been a different kind of experience, and we were not ready for this. This came like a shock. It came like a
It
shock,
has, yeah. It
and the
has.
world, as a matter of fact, governments were in shock. The ordinary man on the street and we are still in shock up to now. We are still trying to recover from the whole coronavirus shock, the whole lockdown. Like, you're locked down in your house for over 1 month, you're indoors. It's something else. So, but let's look at this. The way we feel is actually our mental health. So let's look at
Mm,
during the period of lockdown, or during this period of global crisis. What are
yeah.
the possible types of mental illnesses? More like the way we feel, we should watch out for, which is not proper. Because if the way we feel is our mental health, it means that we have to feel good. So, what are the ways we will look out for that will determine how we feel, as the kind of feelings we will watch out for that is not healthy enough?
I want to put it this way that I will not speak about illness in regards to syndromes because I'm not a practitioner. So I think that area should be better addressed by a psychiatrist. However, I'm going to be, as a human behavioral scholar, I'm going to be speaking on this very essential area that I think uh, one significant illness that we've experienced during this global pandemic is phobia.
Oh,
Phobia. Yes, yes, and I think this is taking very deep roots in our lives, as both as individuals and as a race, like in our world generally, and as individuals. So I think phobia is a distinct illness. I'm saying as a human behavioral scholar that is really taking roots in as a result of this global pandemic and lockdown.
so looking at it presently, people are scared. Or
Yeah,
what?
people are yes, people are afraid. I know when we talk about phobia, we talk about irrational fear. There's fear of the unknown, fear that you can't really, you know, and I think this could be kind of significant because the news and the media are carrying frightening statistics of people who have been affected and of number of deaths and you know how the news hype things, in as much as I believe that this is very true, but I think media has done so much on hype, like that this very issue has been hyped so much, it has been kind of glorified so much that it has created some kind of heightened anxiety, and I think this is bringing this is going to be causing some kind of immediate effect. It's going to be having some kind of immediate effect on our mental health as a people.
So, based on the
Mm.
news, information that is being passed out by the media, there is this unnecessary fear of
Mm.
we uncertainties. We're
Hmm.
not sure of lots of stuff, so we're not even sure of a cure yet. So that's a whole lot of fear. So
It is a
look,
whole lot of fear on
yeah,
itself. Yes.
and it's one thing to be afraid of something you know the end, but it's another thing to be afraid of something you don't even know
Of
anything
something.
about.
Yes. Yes.
So that's the challenge you're
Mm.
trying to highlight here.
Yes.
That's phobia.
Yes.
So looking at that, how can phobia now affect us physically? If I'm scared, how will it affect my daily well-being? Why should I be concerned about phobia for the unknown in this present time? Why should I be afraid of? Why should I be concerned about it?
Again, I want to let me also put it this way that I think for us not to be really selfish about this, like thinking about phobia and how it's really affecting us. I think we should think more about how it is affecting affecting our neighbors, about affecting people who we see on our day-to-day life. Yeah,
True.
because I think this phobia, this kind of fear we are having, I think it's creating a kind of let me describe this way. It's making our sense of judgment to be more harsh. You
Oh.
know, yes, it's making our sense of judgment to be more harsh. And when I talk about harshness, like, let me give an example. The other day, I was in a bank, and I think the attendant, I was actually trying to approach to ask a question. Like, it was it was like a kind of like I wasn't too conscious, that I was getting too close. Let me put it that way. And so
Mm.
she said, no, 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 stay away, stay back, stay back. And the way she said it, like, it appeared very harsh. And come to think that she's serving the public. Like, I was hushed where I was. So I think this fear is creating some kind of sense of judgment in us that makes us to be hard on people. And secondly, it's creating a culture of distrust,
Mm.
because it's now coming to a point where we have to distrust. We have to. There's no trust, because everybody we see is a potential carrier of coronavirus. and and
Exactly.
most of the times you have to walk by the road, and you have to avoid everybody, because everybody you see by the road is a potential carrier. So you distrust everybody, and it's really affecting our relationship as humans. Is really affecting our relationship. I must emphasize this. Is very important.
Yeah, yeah. What you just said reminds me of an experience I had in Lagos during the
Mm,
first initial time of COVID-19 in Nigeria. That I wanted to travel, and I was coming back from the post office in a public transport. While
mm.
in the bus, I had this intense cough. I wanted to cough, like it was so intense, but I was trying so hard to hold the cough back because I don't want the driver to stop and everybody run away, like that kind of stuff. So I did my best and I had the cough. It was very uncomfortable. But that's the kind of environment what we are seeing ourselves in
It-
right now.
yeah, because this puts us in a place where we have to discriminate against each other. And I think if it's okay that we obey the social norms, of trying to practice healthy distance, but it shouldn't bring discrimination. It shouldn't bring because bringing discrimination, I think it's really affecting not only like I said, if we just think about the way these things are affecting our mental health, we are just thinking it in just if we think in just one way, like, I think we're thinking it selfishly, but we should also think about how it's affecting people we meet on our day-to-day life. How are we approaching them? How are we showing them love? And I think this is quite important.
Yeah,
Yes.
so what you're raising here is that we shouldn't just be concerned of our own personal mental health, but we should be concerned about the next person because our
About
attitude towards them it's vital. So even if we are scared, we have this phobia for the whole global pandemic, we should do our best to instill hope in the next person because
mm.
if we keep get begging people to get scared, we keep discriminating against people. I
Yes.
understand, like you mentioned, social distancing is important. It's important to avoid crowded places. It's important to do your best not to visit people. But I mean, if you have friends, they need to even if you can't visit, you should put a call
Mm.
across. Try to check up
Yes.
on this person. You should take up these very attributes that will help to bond the society because we all need
Mhm.
to be together in this. We are not alone. We are together. We need to fight as a team.
Good.
Yeah, we
I,
need to fight.
I, I love that one. We are all together
Yes.
in this.
And
We
that's
are
the time
together
we
in
used
this.
many years ago. If you remember, one team, one team is important. The world need to come together as a team. So
Yes.
still looking at what we on mental health here, and then on the
Mm-hmm.
phobia which people are facing.
Mm-hmm.
At what point should I now be concerned that I need help? for me to be able to relate effectively with my neighbors. Probably I'm scared of coronavirus of COVID-19. At what point would I say that at this point I need help now? I can't. I'm so scared I can't help myself, and it's affecting people around me. At what point do I need professional help, or do I need to start looking for help to help me to overcome the fear of coronavirus, help me to go through the whole situation? Where will I say is the tip of on the iceberg?
I think talking about that, it's a very intricate matter, and thinking about the points we should realize we need help. I think it boils down to uh, assessing self-assessment. Let me put it that way. Yes, it boils down to self-assessment. Assessing ourselves. How have I been affected as a result of this pandemic? And I think this everything goes uh, goes ecologically. Like everything goes in parallel, and whatever affects one thing affects the other. Like if this, let me put this pandemic again as an example, because this is what we're using as our subject matter. I think this pandemic, it has not only, like I said, it has not only affected us personally, mentally, psychologically. It's also affects the way we relate with others. It affects our family. It affects finances. It affects us socioeconomically. It affects us environmentally. It affects us politically and everywhere. And I think the first step to understanding whether we actually need help is first assessing us. We need to assess ourselves. We've been indoors all this while. We've not really been relating. We've not, and I think this lockdown being relaxed. I think people will have so much again to do. In terms of incorporating into society, because
Yeah.
being away from society for this long, I think is over 6 months. Being
Yes.
away from society this long, I think is more like learning again, learning to interact with people again, and
Yeah.
all that. Yeah, because we've been shut out of the world. We've been shut into our own self. So I think it's important for us reassess yourself,
Mm.
reassess your behaviors around people, reassess how you've really been reacting when someone walks in a close proximity towards you. How do you react? And when you assess these things, I think you might need help if you find out that you're having irrational fear. I think
Mm.
perhaps if you could talk to it mustn't be a psychologist, but if you could talk to a role model, if you could talk to someone you respect, it could be a pastor, it could be someone who's going to give you a right advice. Try to put, like I said, mental health is all about how we feel on day-to-day basis. You can communicate your emotions. You can communicate how this thing has really affected your emotions. Sometimes if you feel anger and all of this, if you really not been in right dispositions, you
Mm.
can you can choose to talk to somebody, and then let the person you talk to try to put you through. I think it's very important. We shouldn't just be locked in our own
Yeah.
self, to try to lay off whatever we feel within.
Yeah. You know,
Mm.
here in Africa and Nigeria precisely, when we use the
Mhm.
word we need help, we feel like the person is crazy, like only mad
Mm.
people need help. And then we'll see health professionals as psychics or people that take care of those they are crazy, they are ill. More like we don't really, our society does not relate with that information that well. Like someone watching us now from the UK or from US would relate with what you're saying. Someone in Nigeria or in Africa generally may not relate with us that much. So we need to break
Yeah.
this down. We are trying to we integrate ourselves with society. By the way, in
Mhm.
Nigeria, even though there was lockdown, people still relate. There are people are still shaking hands. People are still, but
Yeah.
there is still that. Some people are still doubting that coronavirus exists. Some people are saying it's all
Yeah.
some political propaganda, all sorts of stuff going on, and then some are believing it and they are trying to keep to themselves. But the truth is, we are actually facing a different kind of challenge here. The challenge we are
Mm.
facing here basically is that the economy is crippled, is struggling. Things are tough. We can feel the effect in our economy. Schools are
Mm-hmm.
shut down. Families, they are all in the house. Like they are still relating, but like nothing is coming in. So we are all stranded in the house. Parents are tired of having their children all day with them in the house
Mm-hmm.
24 hours. You're not going to work. Money is not coming in. So this brings in a whole different kind of challenge, which I feel we should also look at for the average African who is going through this situation. Um,
Mm.
he has his own phobia is not necessarily the phobia for contracting COVID-19. His own phobia is phobia for food, putting food on the table, because he
Someone,
has that challenge.
someone from Nigeria told me the other day that he rather die of COVID-19 than die of hunger.
I'm telling you. So that's the challenge we have here. Like hunger is the challenge. Money is not coming in. Your family needs to eat. You need to. There is responsibility. So now in this situation now, uh, what are the kind of fears, things the father should watch out for? And then when, at which point should he cry out, "I need help"? Because even a man crying out in Africa looks like he's a weakling. Like he's I mean, why
Mm.
would a man be crying? Why will he be crying out for help? As in, he's a man, he has responsibility. And then the woman should go to her husband, like, and all those kind of stuff. So it's a whole different challenge altogether. So how can what is the advice? Let me use the word now. What will you now say to an African man who his own phobia is not COVID-19, his own phobia is food on the table, of which
Mm.
what would you have to say to such a person going through such at this point in time?
Oh, wow. I must tell you, this is a very in-depth question, and it's really in-depth because you know, most before now, I used to have so much advice to give, but one thing I started realizing is that the more you get mature, and the more you get in depth in knowledge, you tend to advise less, and
Yeah.
you begin to listen more, because I think healing does not really come in the amount of words we speak to people, but in the sincerity of how we listen to the predicaments,
Mm.
or whatever they are passing through. And so I think right now I'm not really much of an advisor. Like it's quite easy to advise. It's quite easier to say you have to do this, you have to do that. But you know, when it comes to thinking about a father, just like a scenario you've painted now, a father who perhaps have you know, in a normal African setting, have 5 to 7 children, and now coming to a position where he have to stay, you know, and there's no ability to produce, to provide rather for the family, because he maybe he's out of job, and all that. I think this can really be a very a very serious issue. But one thing I'm going to say is that what is most important is for us to be grateful first that we are alive, and that if you're alive, that there is hope much
There's
more
hope.
ahead.
Yes, yes.
Yes, it is very important, yes, for us to know that we are alive, because life is where everything begins. And so this just brings me back to the story of Noah, where they have to come out, when they came out from the ark, and every other thing is dead. Like nothing was practically living on
Mm.
earth. But what is most important is that they survived. They survived the storm. They survived the hard time. They survived the deluge. And
Yeah.
I think what is most important for us as a people is for us to first of all to be hopeful and to be thankful that we survived this time.
Yeah.
Yes, we came out alive. Yeah, and we are healthy. And that if we're healthy and alive, then of course there is hope. We can still begin to build again. We can still bring up something. So there is no need to be anxious for anything. There's no need to be afraid. There's no need to have irrational kind of fears concerning how you will provide or how you will feed or how you will get the next job. I think somehow there's always a way that way beats itself. So
Yeah.
yeah, of course.
By the way, to people listening to us right now, if you have any question, please just put it up on the chat, and I will respond to that ASAP. I will be looking out to hear from you. Have any question at all, anything you want to add, a comment, anything you want to add to what we are saying, just put it up on the chat, and we will respond to you at once. Back to what we just spoke about. I like the way you answered. You answered like a pastor, and that's fantastic. Now let me now talk like the ordinary man on the streets now. The way
Mm.
you spoken are really good words. But what we eat is not good words. A good word, like you said, advice is easier to give advice. But I caught something from what you said,
Yeah.
like person. One thing I got from what
Mm.
you said is we should listen more to talking more. So that means that these people need out there is someone that will listen to them. Because the truth is, even the person you're talking
Yeah.
to
Yes.
have challenges. So
Yeah,
if you have,
especially a listening government, and especially because I think in this sorry to jump into this, but I think in this time, I think for most countries, I think the governments have more role to play, because the people are kind of in a handicapped state, and
yeah,
so the government have more role to play. Yeah, places like in the United States, the government has been distributing food, palliatives, and stuff like places like the UK, and and all that. So I think our governments in Africa need to cultivate this. We shouldn't just use this as an avenue to uh, to to I'm trying to use I'm trying to use a better word. Like I don't want to
uh,
use any word
we are
that is
there.
yeah, abusive. Like yeah, I'm trying to mind my language. But let me say that in times that you shouldn't use it as a way to to obtain from, yeah, let me use the word obtain. We should use it as a means of obtaining from our subject. But the government should be better listeners in this time. I think we need to listen. We need to be more empathetic as a
Mm,
government, yeah, on the people, and check out ways that we could bring out revenues and make the people's life better. Because I think it's the truth is that people, especially in Nigeria, I think people are really passing through hard times right now. Like a lot of hard times. I must tell you, people are passing through hard times, and it's kind of difficult that there is nothing that most of them can, because the businesses are not working. Nothing is virtually working. I think the government need to be better listeners. Uh, so that is what I think about
yeah.
this. Yeah.
What you said is true. We need a listening government, and I believe they are listening to us right now.
Mm,
Our state governors are, everybody in high places. You're listening. This is up on
mm,
Facebook, on YouTube. So please listen to the people. Help the people out because we need help. We need government to be involved. But in this particular case now, where while our government is planning to listen to us or they are acting on what you just said, we also believe
mhm,
that you can also listen to your neighbor too. Give them not just listening. If you have more than, if you have much more, you don't have to hoard things in your house. Share what you have.
mm,
People next door they
mhm,
need help, they need things, so there's no need to hoard them. Those things will spoil if you hoard them. Share, give to those in need. If you want to
mhm.
be philanthropic, this is the time to be philanthropic. It's not like before. It is now.
Yes.
This is the appropriate time. So we need more people to be out there sharing foods every day to people that need it, giving out helping hands to those that need, encouraging people financially, and
Mhm.
a whole lot. Landlords, please help tenants. You don't have to pay rent for this period. I understand that you need money, but help.
It's,
We
it's important.
all need help. Let's give palliatives for in everything. Everything needs palliative. I know when I said that landlord help tenant, some people were shouting, my landlord, I hope you're watching this. Your landlord is watching. Help your tenants. They need help. At this point, they won't really be able to afford. You can even cut down on how much you're taking. Like they should pay you
Yes.
a bit more. Cause it mustn't be everything. Just cut down on a little bit of it. I know landlord
Mhm.
needs the money too, of course, but at least cut down on it since tenant is not having so much extra. Everybody should come together. We need to go through this as a team, as a people,
As a
collectively.
yes.
Exactly. This have happened before. This is not the first time. It happened before. 1918 to 1920, we had a global pandemic. We had lockdown in many cities around the world. Even in Nigeria, people died then. It had happened years before now as well. So this is not the first time we are seeing this. But the only way we would force through this is when we come together to help each other. Because this is part of what will affect how people feel. If I know my landlord is not going to put pressure on me, I will feel better. My mental health will be okay. I will be more responsible in society.
Mm.
So we need
Mm.
everybody together as a team, and we'll come out from this stronger and better. By the way, Mr. Ike Martins, the human behavioral coach, is a pastor. He has planted a church, and then another pastor, another branch. He has really impacted people's lives for years now. So his advices are superb. I've known him for a long time. I think I've known you as long as I've known myself, and that's
It's
really
very long time.
that's really a long time. That's really a long time. So
It's very
I
long
want,
time.
yeah, while we are rounding up this very today's connect with Caleb Leo,
Mm.
I also want to you to give us simple tips. I know you've already mentioned the basic thing we should watch out for, and that is phobia as per our mental health. And phobia can be
Mhm.
phobia for coronavirus, or phobia for what you don't have, cares and challenges of such. And then we should ensure that what we are looking at for is how we relate with people. We shouldn't allow our phobia to affect our relationship, so we don't discriminate
Mhm.
people. Those are the basic points that you've listed here. And then the people in Africa mostly that need help should get at least a listening ear. Government should listen, and also people that have more should listen and help. Like James said, don't just say God bless you. Give as you're saying God
Mhm.
bless you. God should bless you with something. So give as well when they're in need. Before I ask this last question, now let me just add this to what you said.
Mhm.
Governments in Nigeria are giving out palliatives actually, but the challenge we have with most of these things, before the food gets to you, those on top they will be sharing it from the top. Before it gets to the
Mm.
common man that needs it, like it's like maybe a little cup of beans for a family for a month. I don't understand what happens. Like those are on top are the ones that are eating the palliative, not even those that need it.
And that
So
is why we need to identify those people who are. That is why we need to identify those people who are on top, because when we've not identified those people who are on top that are actually making this palliatives not so diverting it. I
mhm.
think until we identify who they really are, then most people will probably think that nothing is being done to help people.
That's the that's the biggest challenge here, which I've seen around. It's not even the state government will release stuffs. It will leave
Mhm.
the very top, and then maybe it gets to a community. It hangs from the community chiefs. They will start sharing from themselves first. These guys
Mm,
already
that's
have they
serious.
already have stuff. It's if they are giving no, it cuts down a whole lot. Like those that are in charge to give out, we end up eating more of the box stuffs, and before it gets to the common man, like little or nothing gets to them, and that's where the challenge really is a whole lot. I'm not saying the government is doing enough. Government is not doing enough, to be sincere.
Mm,
But even the little they've done is not even getting down to grassroots. It's hanging on the roots. It doesn't get to the grass. It just the grass, not to the roots. Let me use that word. It's on top. It's not getting down. So we need to we need to help ourselves. It's always
mhm,
up down. Let's not be pointing hands up when at the middle is having issues. The middle, if the middle is okay, at least anything that leaves the top, we get to the bottom. So that's something we need to look at. But that's a talk for another day. presently, just give us simple tips, general tips, for us to manage this very phobia that comes. Like simple tips we can practice daily on a daily basis that will help us to manage the phobia that comes from this whole global pandemic.
Yeah, some of the tips I'm gonna give. The Bible says, John says, he said there is no fear in love, because perfect love casts away fear. I could remember that there was a point in this whole issue, that you can't just on the television, you can't on the news, and you can't turn on the news and you listen to anything apart from COVID-19. Everything you listen to, at the point I began to wonder, could we ever hear any sort of good news again? Because every news we're hearing was COVID-19, number of cases, people that have died, and that was just how news houses, social media, everything. And I think at that point, one of the things I did that helped me was that I withdrew from news, now,
Mm.
because, yeah, because it wasn't helping my mental health as a person. So I withdrew from news, and I did more activities that gave me joy. I meditated more. I prayed more. I studied more of God's word, because I believe that is what brings stability to my spirit.
Mm.
And other happy activities, like especially talking with people that are dear to me, and that matters most to me. I think these are things that made me happier. And again, how we handle reactions from people. I must say that you can only control your own reaction, but you can't
Yeah,
control how other people react towards you.
yeah,
Just like I give an exist. See, this pandemic, I must say, have increased the level of racism, I must say. Yeah, because sometimes you see people who are not of your race, who are not the same color. Uh, they have been doing that before now, and I think this pandemic gave most people more edge. Sorry, more. It gave them more reason. More. They now have it as a reason. This is a reason why we have to avoid. And so when you see someone who is not of your color, you have to go aside. You have to look at them in a very disdainful way. And I think this is a very it's very bad, because you're discriminating the other person. And
mm,
like I said, I can only control how I react to people, but I can't control how people act towards me. So one of the ways I've always reacted towards that is that I smile. I just smile, and I just walk away, because I don't have to take it personal. I don't have to. I
mm,
have a beautiful life already. I don't have to take it personal. And apart from racism, these other things, I've been hearing reports of xenophobia. The other time, you can remember the other time in China, that Africans we are treated badly. This and perhaps maybe they are feeling that this maybe is a kind of phobia they're having on themselves. Maybe they want to protect themselves, yeah, because
mm.
maybe they believe that it's is a people who is international people who are living in their country that is bringing this
Yeah. Reported.
yeah
Yeah.
this very virus or whatever to them. So maybe there is a kind of finding a way to protect. But I
Self defense.
think, yeah, yes, maybe it's a self-defense, maybe the way they put it, but it's no ground to act out xenophobia against other people. I think it's we should call this wrong. We should speak out against this. It is fundamentally wrong, and we should also be expecting other kind of changes. Like I think. some other kind of social attitudes, like when is bring a kind of more conservative way of governance that most countries now are having strict immigration laws that
Yeah.
you can't come to our country. Yes, so people are barred from entering other countries. And I think this can also affect our mental health seriously, because it's going to be making us, people are going to feel frustrated. You know how many people who have cancelled business plans, or maybe people who are students and maybe they want to study perhaps in the United States, and then because of the strict immigration laws, you can't come to our country, and all of this.
Or they even
And
travel
this,
back to school. Or per se they
yes,
travel back to school. Yeah.
yes, so it could bring some sort of depression to them.
Yeah.
But I think no matter what happens, I think we shouldn't take anything personal. We should always look at things, and we should smile at them. We shouldn't take it, because we can only determine how we act towards people, but we can't just determine how people act towards us. We shouldn't take anything personal, because I think things will always get better. And even as a country, in Nigeria, like we having interstate ban.
No,
You
they,
can't cross from.
they lifted that down. They've lifted it on 1st of June. It was lifted.
Yes, yes. I mean, previously,
Yeah.
it was okay, that everybody should stay in their state, but it's the way we go about it actually matters, because
Mm.
because it could cause tribalism, like because there's a way we can go about trying to stop other people from entering this state. We are all in the same country. Come on. And when we begin to do our interstate ban in such a way that is going to discriminate other people. Sometimes some people begin doing it in such a way that, okay, we are not of our own region, and we
Not
have
from.
to. And yes, so I think this is bringing disunity. Before anything, we should always
Yeah.
remember that we are humans, and we should be
Yeah.
human in all of our relations with people. So it's a very important factor, I think. So.
Yeah, thank you very much, Pastor Ike Martins. I'm so happy to have you today. And then we'll be back again on next month, August, on the 12th. That will be Wednesday, second Wednesday of the month, August 12th. There will be another Connect with Caleb Leo, and we'll be having another fantastic time. I'm looking now to hopefully talking about suicide and how to overcome suicide, because
Mm.
I feel people are going to go through a lot. They're already going through a lot, and it could lead to suicide tendencies. So hopefully we'll have people as well with us, and we hope to have you again, Ike Martins, another time here on Connect with Caleb Leo.
Thank you very much for having me. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful to be part of this very talk. It's a great privilege, an opportunity to speak with you, my friend, and my brother. I've always have this admiration for you, and for your consistency throughout the years, and I really thank God for your life and what God is using. You're really touching lives. You're getting better and better at every every day that comes by. Thank you so much for having me. I'm really grateful.
All right, you're very much welcome, Ike Martins. So for everybody out there that have listened to us, we hope you got something, you at least you have impacted positively, and we believe that you've taken tips that will help you to keep mental health during this period. You'll be able to overcome phobia for whatever it is that you're going through in your country and in your nation, and together we'll come out better. And like he mentioned, you can't control how people react, but you can control how you react based on what people say to you. So let's try to react positively to other people, and let's try to instill hope on people. Now you can follow me on social media at PST Caleb Leo. That's on Instagram, on Twitter, and on Facebook. Per se, if you're watching this on Facebook, fantastic. You can just search for me, PST Caleb Leo, and follow me on Facebook. And as well, you can if you're watching through YouTube, or you go to YouTube, search for Caleb Leo TV and subscribe to our channel. We have lots of quality programs coming your way on Caleb Leo TV. Lots of them.
And I've been blessed. I've been blessed by most of the programs. It's
Ah,
really insightful.
Yeah, we
Very
have.
insightful, I must say.
Yeah, so you don't need to miss any of them. And as well,
Yeah.
you can listen to Caleb Leo podcast on your Apple podcast, on Google Podcast, Radio Republic, whatever podcast channel you have. Go there and listen to Caleb Leo podcast, or you can just quickly go to calebleo.com and you will get a hold of every one of our resources. We have books out there available for you. There are blogs for you to read, podcasts to listen to, and a whole lot of resources that are meant to help you to understand, develop, and renew your mind. That's all we're interested in. We want you to renew your mind, and we are bringing forth enough quality programs that will help you to achieve that. One more time, thank you very much, Ike Martins, for being with us. And thank you so much, everybody out there, for joining us today on Connect with Caleb Leo. Please like and share this very event, this very live event. Share it to everybody. Create watch parties so people can also watch. Comment as well. Let's know you followed us, and then we need to hear from you. Feedbacks, please. They are very, very important. Tell us what you think. And so thank you very much. And we are signing out. Thank you, Ike Martins. You can look for him on social media as well, Ike Martins, and you'll find him there. His events, it's powerful. You need to see what this young man is doing out there, and lives is impacting. So you need to follow him on social media and get a hold of what he's doing. So thank you very much, Ike Martins, and see you on the 12th of August 2020 by 6 p.m. Please don't forget the dates.